The $47 million mistake. How one decision revealed the invisible wall between wealth and poverty. I need to tell you about the day I watched two men make opposite decisions with the exact same amount of money, and how those choices turned one into a multimillionaire and left the other still working at age 67. This isn't theory. This is what I witnessed firsthand, and it changed everything I understood about wealth. Detroit, 2008. The economy was collapsing like a house of cards. Two cousins, Marcus and Thomas, sat across from me in a lawyer's office. Both just inherited $50,000 from their grandfather. Same DNA, same upbringing, same starting point. But watch what happened next. Marcus, wearing a crisp suit despite having just been laid off from GM, stared at that check like it was a life raft. His hands actually trembled. Thomas, in a worn Tigers hoodie, working construction, looked at his check and immediately smiled. "Time to celebrate," he said. The lawyer left. I stayed because I was dating their cousin Sarah, and what unfolded over the next 45 minutes became the most expensive conversation one of them would ever have. "Bro, first thing Monday, I'm getting that Escalade," Thomas announced, pulling up pictures on his phone. "Fully loaded. I deserve this. I've been breaking my back for 12 years. Marcus said nothing. He just kept staring at his check. "Come on, man," Thomas pushed. "What are you getting? You know you want that boat you've been talking about." And here's where everything split. Marcus looked up. "I'm buying a duplex." Silence. Thomas laughed. "A what? Man, we finally got some money and you want to buy somebody's rundown rental. Live a little." But Marcus wasn't laughing. "Tom, I've been thinking about this since Grandpa got sick. Everyone's losing their houses. Banks are desperate. I can get a foreclosed duplex for $35,000, fix it up for $10,000, and rent both sides out. That's depressing, bro. That's poor people thinking. You gotta enjoy your money." And there it was, the sentence that contained the entire philosophy that would keep Thomas exactly where he was for the next 17 years. Are you seeing this? Because this moment, this exact conversation, happens in a million different versions, every single day. One person sees money as something to spend. The other sees it as something to deploy. Stay with me, because what happened next is where it gets really interesting. Thomas bought the Escalade, 84-month loan at 8% interest because his credit wasn't great, $847 a month. He also got a new wardrobe, $1,200, a vacation to Cancun, $3,500, a new living room set, $2,800, various dinners, bottles at clubs, helping out friends, $4,300. Within 7 months, the entire $50,000 was gone. But he had an Escalade that made heads turn. Marcus bought a foreclosed duplex in Roseville for $34,000 cash, spent $11,000 fixing it up, new roof, updated kitchen, paint, landscaping. Rented one unit for $850 per month, the other for $800 per month. Monthly rental income, $1,650. Monthly expenses, taxes, insurance, maintenance fund, $520 monthly profit, $1,130. But here's what Marcus did that changed everything. He didn't pocket that $1,130. He lived in his same modest apartment, drove his same 2004 Honda, and he stacked that rental income like his life depended on it. When I asked him why, he said something I'll never forget. Rich people understand that money is a soldier. You don't send your soldiers home to rest. You send them back out to fight for you. Every dollar that comes back from that duplex is a soldier reporting for duty. Thomas heard this at a family barbecue and laughed. Man, you sound crazy. What's the point of having money if you don't enjoy it? Marcus smiled. I'm going to enjoy it, just not yet. And here's where I need you to really pay attention. Because the difference between these two men wasn't education, wasn't opportunity, wasn't even intelligence. It was time horizon. Thomas was thinking about the next 6 months. Marcus was thinking about the next 6 years. And that difference, that's worth millions. 18 months after the inheritance, Marcus bought his second property, a small ranch house for $28,000. Fixed it up, rented it for $975 per month. Now he had 2 properties generating $2,605 per month in total rental income. After expenses, roughly $1,800 per month in profit. Thomas? He was 3 months behind on his Escalade payment. Got it repossessed. Had to buy a used car with a 19% interest rate because his credit tanked. The system's rigged, Thomas said at Thanksgiving. The rich stay rich, and we stay broke. Marcus didn't argue. He was too busy analyzing a 4-unit building. By 2012, 4 years after the inheritance, Marcus owned the original duplex 3 single-family rentals, a 4-unit apartment building. Total monthly cash flow, $4,200. He quit his job search. He was making more from real estate than he ever made at GM. Thomas was working construction, driving a car with 180,000 miles, and still maintaining that the economy had screwed him over. Same inheritance, same economy, completely different outcomes. Now, before you think this is just a story about real estate, stop. This isn't about property. This is about the fundamental software running in your brain when you encounter money. Let me break down the actual thinking patterns. Part 4. The operating systems. Poor thinking system. Money is for spending. I deserve this. Immediate gratification. Assets are things you own that make you look successful. Income is what you trade hours for. Risk is something to avoid. Debt is for lifestyle. Time horizon. Weeks to months. Rich thinking system. Money is for deploying. Will this make me more money? Delayed gratification. Assets are things you own that generate cash flow. Income is what your money earns while you sleep. Risk is something to calculate and manage. Debt is a tool for acquiring income-producing assets. Time horizon. Years to decades, Thomas spent his inheritance on things that depreciate. Marcus spent his inheritance on things that appreciate and generate income. Thomas's $50,000 turned into roughly $8,000 in remaining value, the depreciated assets. Marcus's $50,000 turned into a portfolio worth $847,000 by 2019, generating $8,300 per month in passive income. That's not luck. That's mathematics applied to different thinking systems. Are you starting to see how this applies to your life? Because I guarantee you're making Thomas decisions in some area right now. We all are. The question is, are you ready to recognize them? The Breaking Point family reunion. Thomas, now 51, looked exhausted, still working construction, bad knee, talking about how he'd have to work until 70, maybe longer. Marcus, same age, was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, playing with his kids. He'd just gotten back from a month in Costa Rica. Thomas pulled me aside. I'll never forget what he said. I made a mistake, didn't I? Back in 2008. I didn't know what to say. I see Marcus and I think, we started at the same place, same money, and look at him, look at me. Here's the thing about poor thinking. It's not about how much money you have. Thomas could have changed his thinking at any point. 2009, 2012, 2015. But every year he made the same type of decisions. New iPhone every year, $900 annually. Cable package he barely watched, $140 per month. Eating out 15 times a month, $600 per month. Lottery tickets, $40 per week. None of these are wrong. But together, they represented a system of thinking that said, money comes in, money goes out, and I'll always be trading my time for dollars. Marcus made different choices, kept his phone until it died, saved $700 per year, cut cable, used Netflix, $127 per month saved, meal prepped, ate out twice monthly, $450 per month saved, never gambled, saved $2,000 per year. That difference, about $1,200 per month, times 12 months, times 8 years. $115,200 that Marcus redirected into income-producing assets. Thomas spent it on things he barely remembered. And here's what I need you to understand. Thomas isn't a bad person. He's not stupid. He's not lazy. He's operating with a thinking system that society programmed into him. Work hard. Earn money. Enjoy it. Repeat. It's the same system that keeps 78% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. It's the same system that tells you a new car is a good investment. It's the same system that says you should treat yourself every time you get a bonus. And it's bankrupting you slowly, one decision at a time. Let me tell you what rich thinking actually looks like in practice. Marcus called me. I'm buying a car wash. You don't know anything about car washes, I said. I don't need to. The numbers work. It generates $9,500 per month profit. Owners retiring. Selling for $340,000. I'm putting down $70,000 from my rental income, financing the rest. Payments $2,100 per month, so I clear $7,400 per month from day one. Where'd you get $70,000? I saved it. From the rentals. That's rich thinking. He used income from assets to buy more assets. The car wash paid for itself and generated profit. That profit went toward rental property number 12. Meanwhile, Thomas got a $4,000 bonus at work. Bought a used jet ski. Used it 4 times. Sold it 2 years later for $1,600. Same opportunity to deploy capital. Opposite decisions. Predictable outcomes. By 2024, here's where they stood. Thomas, 63 years old. Still working full-time, $47,000 per year income. $12,000 in savings. Social Security will be his primary retirement income. Will likely work into his 70s. Marcus, 63 years old. Hasn't had a job since 2012. Owns 14 rental properties, 2 car washes, and a small laundromat monthly passive income. $18,700 net worth. $3.2 million. Spends 6 months a year traveling from the same $50,000 inheritance. Now, are you ready for the truth bomb? The difference wasn't the real estate. You could replace that with index funds, a small business, dividend stocks, or any asset that produces cash flow. The difference was that Marcus asked a different question every time money entered his life. How can I turn this $1 into $2, then $2 into $4, then $4 into $8? Thomas asked, what can I buy with this? One question builds wealth, the other consumes it. Which question are you asking? Part 7. Your decision point. Here's what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Open your banking app. Look at your last 10 transactions. I'll wait. Now, for each transaction, ask yourself, Did this move me closer to financial freedom, or did it move me closer to working until I'm 70? Be honest. Brutally honest. That's $6 coffee. That's fine if you're already on Marcus's path. If you're on Thomas's path, that's a soldier you sent home instead of back to battle. That monthly subscription you forgot about? Those are soldiers going AWOL every single month. That payment on a car worth more than 3 months of your income, that's an entire platoon defecting to the enemy. Here's your action plan, the same one Marcus followed. Week 1. Recognize your operating system. Track every dollar for 7 days. Calculate your soldier desertion rate. Money leaving that produces no future income. Write down your current financial trajectory. If nothing changes, where will you be in 10 years? Week 2. Make the first deployment identify one expense you can eliminate. $50 to $200 per month. Open a separate soldier fund account. Redirect that money automatically. Week 3. Learn asset acquisition research. One income-producing asset. Rental property, dividend stocks, business. Don't invest yet, just learn. Find someone doing it successfully and study them. Month 2 to 6. Build your war chest. Save your first $1,000, then $5,000. Every dollar is a soldier preparing for deployment. Do not spend this on anything that doesn't generate future income. Month 7. First deployment. Deploy your soldiers into your first income-producing asset. Could be $5,000 into dividend stocks. Could be a down payment on a rental property. Could be equipment for a side business. The asset doesn't matter. The principle does. And here's the part that separates people who change from people who just get motivated for a week. You have to feel the pain of saying no. Marcus didn't buy the boat, didn't take the vacation, didn't get the watch, and it hurt. He watched his friends live it up. He drove past car dealerships. He saw the ads. He felt the pull, but he understood something Thomas never did. You can either feel the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One weighs ounces, the other weighs tons. Final truth. Last month, I had dinner with both of them. Thomas is 67 now, still working part-time. His health isn't great. He's worried about money constantly. Marcus is 67, just bought a condo in Portugal, helps his grandkids with college, donates to causes he cares about. At one point, Thomas said something that broke my heart. If I could go back to that lawyer's office in 2008, I'd make every decision different, every single one. Marcus touched his shoulder. It's not about 2008, Tom. It's about tomorrow. You could still change your thinking right now. Thomas nodded, but I could see it in his eyes. After 17 years of poor thinking, the operating system was too deeply installed. But you're reading this right now for a reason. Your moment is here. Your $50,000 might be your next bonus, your tax return, your side hustle income, or just the $200 you waste monthly on things you don't remember buying. The amount doesn't matter. The thinking does. Marcus started with $50,000 and turned it into millions. But the real transformation happened before he bought the first property. It happened when he decided to change his operating system, when he decided to see money as soldiers instead of spending money, when he decided delayed gratification wasn't sacrifice, it was strategy, when he decided that looking rich was for poor people and being rich was for patient people. Your move. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 90 days, adopt Marcus's operating system. Just 90 days. Every time money comes in, paycheck, birthday gift, side hustle, doesn't matter, ask, how many soldiers can I deploy from this? Then deploy them. Index funds, high yield savings, paying off high interest debt, That's defending your fortress. An online business, a rental property, dividend stocks. The vehicle doesn't matter. The habit does. And 90 days from now, look at your life. You'll have more money than if you'd spent it. You'll have momentum. You'll have a different question running in your head. You'll have started installing the rich thinking operating system. Or you can do what Thomas did. Spend it. Enjoy it. Wonder in 17 years why the system is rigged against you. The choice is yours. But make no mistake, you're choosing right now. Your $50,000 moment is coming. Maybe it already came and you spent it. But your next one is on its way. And when it arrives, you'll have only one question to answer. Are you Thomas or are you Marcus? The clock is ticking. Your soldiers are waiting for orders. What's it going to be? If this story changed how you think about money, save it, share it. Most importantly, act on it. Don't let this be another thing you read, nod at, and forget. Your future